guys, welcome back to Urban Rhino Tutorials. On this tutorial I want to show you a couple different ways you can change a photo from color to black and white. There are quite a few different options on doing this, and I'm also going to show you how to use the Urban Rhino Photoshop actions to achieve this look as well. So once you have your photo open, I'm going to show you a few different ways here. You can go to Image, Adjustments, and from here, if you select the HueSaturation, you can basically just take out all the color. As simple as that. And you can adjust the light if you need it to be lighter, darker. In my opinion, doing this gives you a very flat image. Obviously my picture was already edited to begin with, so it's sharp, her eyes are standing out, things like that, versus if I were to do this on an unedited image. However, regardless, there's not much contrast, and the values are pretty middle of the road, not a lot of extreme darks and extreme lights. So from here, let's cancel that. Another option is to go to image mode as quick as just going to grayscale. Again, kind of gives you the same outcome. These are ways that I feel like a lot of amateur photographers or starting out photographers try to go about it this way. So let's go, there's a couple more ways. So if you go into adjustments and what am I looking for? You can go to the black and white from here. This one's going to give you a better outcome if you're trying to avoid using Photoshop actions, because from here you can play around with the colors to, you can see by me raising these, so look at her skin there, how dark and muddy it looks versus if I raise that yellow, how much more contrast it gets. Like I said, this is going to give you a much better outcome than trying to just go and just lower the saturation. So again, with the red, if I do it that way, cyan, looking at her skin tone, she's obviously going to have a lot of red and yellow, so adjusting that's not going to affect her skin. The biggest thing that you want to watch for when adjusting people to black and white is that their skin doesn't end up darker than their clothing. Now obviously if we're talking about a darker skinned person, that may not be the case, but what happens a lot of times when your subject has fairer skin, which she's pretty dark complected, Olivia is, but when you're talking about with a Caucasian person, someone of Asian descent, you just have to be careful that they're not getting really dark. So that would be, more like this. So you can see a lot of not as much contrast, but a lot of dark there. So again, I'm trying just a few more of these to see. Again, that's just another way. Now, and actually not hating that too much, but so that's one option there. The other one is, the final one, is if you go into your actions palette here, if you don't see yours pop up, if you go to window and select actions, it will come up. I have the Urban Rhino Photoshop actions loaded on here, which I'll include a link if you like what you see and want to purchase those from our website. But with these, I always include some black and white options. So if I play these on here, some of them are going to give you more of a matte finish, which is that kind of hazy look. Some of them will put, even though they're black and white, they're going to put more of a warm tone. Some would do more of a cool tone. Some are going to be very high contrast. High contrast means extreme blacks, extreme whites. So to show you, just to give you an idea of how those look, so let's do the cool finish here. And some of these, when you play them on them, are not going to look right at all. Depending on if it's studio photography, outdoor photography, some will look great, some will look awful, but then if you try and do them on a different picture, the ones that didn't look good on one picture might look good on another. So you can see it's a lot more dramatic. Now what you can do from here is you could open that action folder and you can adjust some of the stuff. So if you don't like the spotlight or the vignette, so if I wanted to take the spotlight off or if I want to take the vignette off, I could do that. Film grain, that's going to give you the specs. I personally don't like that. I included those in the actions just because I know a lot of people do like those. Let's see what else we can do here. If we do the lighten, that's going to brighten it up some. I really like that. I really like cool tones in my pictures though as well. So you can see if I take off the warm, it makes it a little brighter. So instead of taking it off completely, I'm just going to lower it a little bit. I like that. So you can see what happens if you take the pop, the Jimmy Choo pop off. And then that's where her skin's starting to look darker and muddy. So we need that on there to keep her skin lighter. The punch, so you can see, whoa, if we take that off, it really brightens it. Again, you could lower it a little bit, but I don't like what it does to the background there. So now if you like it on her skin, which I do, I like it a little bit brighter, then the other thing you can do is you can brush this off. So I've created these actions so that they already by default have a layer mask. So if I select the layer mask, pull up my black brush, and if you don't know how to work with layer masks, make sure you watch our tutorial on that. And I can brush that off of the background. Off, on. So I'm going to raise it more. I'm actually going to keep it on the background because I like that better on the background. And I'm going to brush it off a little bit of her so she's not quite as dark. So I'm lowering the opacity of my brush. I'm going to go down to like 17. And I'm going to brush it off of her so she pops a little more. I'm just trying to look at her skin here. And I may add it back on a little. Okay, and I'm actually going to add it back just a little bit and darken her back up a little bit more. Okay, so now if I click off of that layer, so she looks adorable in color as well, and then click it again, you can see now you have a much more dramatic black and white, one that has a lot of contrast. There's some very light areas, very dark areas. It just adds a lot more drama than just going through and doing just the basic black and white. Let me see if I can hide this layer, and I'm going to show you here real quick so you can see the comparison. Image adjustments. Let's just lower this again. Okay, and like I said, it was already edited, so it doesn't look terrible, but you can see the difference between just going that route and lowering the saturation, so that's that one, versus this one. Okay, a lot more contrast, so pretty flat versus the contrast here, and a little bit of a matte finish. So that's pretty much it for changing your picture to black and white. Like I said, check out the layer mask tutorial, and I'll include the link if you want to purchase the Urban Rhino Photoshop actions. I think you guys will really enjoy them and get a lot out of them. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you stay connected with Urban Rhino on social media. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, comment below, and of course, subscribe to our channel.